Greetings, everybody. It's me, Knight, and today I'm going to be making a video on trauma and our emotions and like diseases, illnesses. A lot of this y'all may have heard before, but I'm using a personal experience. But not just that, I'm gonna speak about my mother. I really don't like to talk about my family, um, but I know on my channel I have probably some mothers out there and just single women out there, whether you're a mother or not, that may be going through some things emotionally. And there's something I want to share. My mom, she's 64 years old. If y'all were to see her today, y'all would never think that. She looks extremely young. I am, in case you guys don't know, I'm 39. I'll be 40 tomorrow, Lord allowing. And growing up, my mom dealt with a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse. And what's interesting, even the man that she married, which is my real father, he grew up in a foster home. He lost his mom early over a sexual transmitted disease. She passed on from that. She passed early, and his grandmother was her life was taken. She was shot. Okay. And so he's experienced some things, and my dad wasn't the best either. As a perfect man, he played on my mom, right? Now, what's interesting, he was Christian. He tried to be like God fearing. He messed around, but mom dealt with a lot of abuse as well. My mom grew up looking different. Like she was 105 pounds barely, 5'4", and she never understood why she looked a little different. Cause of course every brother and sister's not gonna look the same, but she always wondered why does she look different. But that's because she was born by another man. So back in the day, in like the 40s and 50s, it's shown upon if you have a child out of wedlock. Now, my grandmother never told my mom who her real father was. The only person told her father who her father was my great great grandmother. Um, on her deathbed, my great great grandmother told my mother who her real father was and told her you need to find him. And she pulled out a wedding ring and she found this man. But it gave my mom peace because my mom was always treated like a black sheep, because what she looked like, and she did a lot of the work. She was the oldest grandson, and one time my grandfather popped my mother in the nose, and like I'm talking like hit, and there's a lot of stuff my mom went through. I'm really trying to figure out how far I want to go with that, and it brought on insecurities, very insecure. So even if she looked pretty to some people, in emotions she was insecure, extremely shy, timid, very misjudged by a lot of people, whether family, friends, anybody. And it's like she didn't recognize her beauty within herself, on her heart. And then later on, she meets my dad. Long story short, he wasn't the best. He played around her when my mom was pregnant with me in her stomach. She was gonna leave him then, and she didn't for some reason. And then she ended up having my sister. And the only reason she had my sister from the same man because she saw me playing one day, and she like, my child needs a companion. He needs a sibling. Because I was always alone. Like, I didn't play with kids. I don't know why. It's just when I was a child, I was just very hermit off. I didn't feel like I connected with people. And this is when I was like three years old, and that's when my sister was born. I'm only bringing this up because with all that abuse my mom's been through, because again, I'm trying to, out of respect, not talk about everything. This is a lot, guys. Like, a lot. Like, my dad, they was in the car. My dad was going to drive the car off the street. Just a lot of things, guys. I'm trying to refrain, but because how serious this is, but it's in her memory. So she doesn't have the best memories of my dad, and then he's changed, but it's not a lot of good stuff. Then she divorced him, married a man. The next man was 20 years younger than her, and then my new stepfather, you know, he knew how old she was, but she looked young, right? And he was from India, right? And she talked to him, and he wasn't the best. He ended up abusing my mom as well, and he also played around on my mom, and he pulled out a weapon during the time where he got caught up with his mistress. His mistress had I guess a boyfriend or a fiance, whatever. The man came in the house, pulled a gun on my stepfather. My stepfather pulled his gun out, He tried to shoot it. It didn't cock off. It got stuck. The round got stuck. Now, mind you, my stepfather is 6'2". He's a pretty big guy, but he felt intimidated enough to pull the gun. He tried to get rid of the guy. The gun didn't go off. He runs out of the house, drives down the street, throws the gun behind the schoolyard, drives off. The police come and get him. He went to prison or whatever to break for 7 years. Lost his rank. He was in the military. So I'm just saying it's like a lot of stuff. Then my mom stayed with him while he was in incarceration. Forgave him. And the reason I'm noticing this, right? I noticed that my mother, she doesn't want to look like the bad guy. Like, no matter how much abuse she is, she always gives people too many chances. It's also a fear of abandonment. So she would stay in these relationships, okay? And then she was drawing people. Even after she divorced that man, she was drawing people. She was drawing the same energetic people with the same energies. And then I know I would do the same thing. Me and my sister, we would draw people to us, whether friends or people in our relationships, would do the same thing. And our mother never taught us, to bring in people who are abusive or even friendships that are abusive. It just was drawn to us. It's like inherited. Like nobody told us to be shy. Nobody told us to be timid. Nobody told us to be not confident in ourselves. And we had to learn how to be confident. Just me talking to you in this video, it took a lot. Like, I was a quiet guy. Even when I went to the military, I was very shy. I didn't think I was going to make it through that. Then, like I told y'all about me, I've been abused. I had an assault issue happened to me in college. I was 19 by another masculine man, right? That hit home. That hurt, right? I could have walked around scoring. That was trauma. Didn't trust dudes. Didn't trust men. Didn't trust anybody. Didn't trust my own kind. Don't trust nothing. Then and again, it all stems from how I grew up. And then my mom would always vent to me about her problems. And that's what made me not want to do anything out of character. Not towards women or men, anybody, right? And then my sister, she gets pregnant, and I was on deployment. And how she got pregnant, a man pushed up on her. And y'all know what that means. It's an unwanted form of intimacy. We know how men can be, right? And excuse the phone call right there. But that's how I got my niece here, right? My sister could have got an abortion. And when she saw the hand move, she started crying. She kept it. Now, I was so angry. I'm on deployment. I wanted to go get rid of this guy because I was mad. And I'm not like that to take somebody, but it's like, you're not going to push up on my sister. I'm way far away in another country. I'm in Iraq trying to serve America. And I hear this horrific story about what happened to my sister. So that's 2 females in my family. They're like black sheep, but they've been horribly abused. Right? And then my dad had a high school sweetheart who knew like voodoo and negative stuff. And like sometimes to this day, I rebuke this. Sometimes I really feel like that she sent negative spirit energy to my mother, because other than her feeling outcast in her own family, I just felt like it was always spirits around us. And then also, like, when she found out her real father was, his kids didn't accept my mother either. Not even his own wife. We were supposed to get land inherited from them and all kind of things, and getting invited to the functions and stuff to get to know them better. They refused to. Like, after he passed, I should say. It seemed like as soon as he passed away 2 years ago, they just pushed my mother aside. So it's just me and my sister, right? I've had friends like pull weapons on me, do stuff that I don't know, didn't even see it coming. And most time I'm a hermit, but when it seems like every time I accepted a friend, I accepted the wrong people who needed help. And then, like they say, hurt people, right? I had friends try to set me up, had people try to take me. And if it wasn't humans, I had negative spirits bothering me at night. Just crazy stuff my whole life. But again, I really look at it as like, when you have certain people in your family doing so many negative things, it puts the vibration low to draw negative spirits, and it puts trauma. And then it put my mom in the hospital, 2 years ago, and they got this thing called heartbreak syndrome, where I never heard of this before, but my mom's been heartbroken so much she had like a mini heart attack. It wasn't about like what kind of food she ate or nothing like that. Cause my mom, like I said, she's 105 pounds, and she's always gardening, she's always active, but it was like, well, how does this happen? And the doctors asked her, cause they can tell she has certain energies or things in her system that you will see in depressed people or people in anxiety, like her cortisol levels are off, a lot of other things I'm not gonna talk about on the phone. And it's just she was never happy. She never felt loved. And then me as a man, that hurt. Because even though I'm a man, I never felt loved. Right? I'm a single man right now. I have no kids, in case you guys don't know. I was in the service. I've been on 8 or 9, almost 9 deployments. Maybe more. I can't remember. 8 or 9 deployments and just missions where I didn't see my family. I can't speak for other military guys. I didn't really have a lot of time to really, because of my MOS, which is my job, until to really jump into relationships. And when I did, I guess I made bad decisions. I picked the wrong ones who didn't want to wait for me to come back from sea or come back from my deployments. Because, even though my mom waited on a man in jail or prison, it don't mean somebody's going to wait for somebody like me serving my country who's not cheating. Doesn't mean they're going to wait, guys. That's the real thing. Like, now, if I would have been a regular civilian, yeah, but it hurt, though, because, like, dang, where's the loyalty? Where's the empathy? But I can't force people to stay with me. So now I see all my years come by, and I just retired out not too long ago, out the military, and I'm alone, right? I'm not here to be in the club, right, and none of that, but I noticed that when I did come home, that's when I saw my mom have that heart problem. And the thing about it, thank God I was there, because this is when COVID happened. And I remember I was in the house that day, and well, actually I was living with her actually before I even had this place. It was really literally when I just came out of the military, and I have a place to stay. And my mom was like, "You can stay with us," her and my stepfather, before they got a divorce. And so I was with them for like, oh wow, it felt like a year and a half I was with them. And then I realized I needed to help my mother, because I was going to move her earlier. Like, someone said, you need to help her, because I had money. I was retired. So I'm helping her and all that. But my stepfather wasn't doing nothing. He would just sleep in a room. They even slept in separate rooms. And he's always complaining. Police got called on me 2 or 3 times trying to fight, because of the fact that I would always defend my mom, because he'd be in her face. Then he got my niece's face. He got my sister's face. Remember I said he's 6'2". I'm not 6'2", guys, at all. I'm not that tall of a guy. Okay? So I'm sitting there like, dang. And so, again, the day that she fell out, I happened to be there. And sometimes I think to myself, that's probably why God allowed me to come home when I did. He probably already foresaw, because my mom allowed certain, like, how can I say, she probably didn't see it coming, but she didn't have to stay in a relationship. And because of that, things play out like it did. But I feel like if I wasn't there, I don't know if my mom would be alive today. Right? Because I had to resuscitate her. You know what I'm saying? And that hurt. And then I felt her stresses, and then guess what happened? That's it. Like, I would say a couple months later, I ended up going in the hospital for a whole year, right? And I ended up taking that COVID vaccine, but that's not really what put me in the hospital. It was mainly all the emotional stress I felt from not only my mom, but my sister and my stepfather, all the stresses, because like I was picking it up, right? And I couldn't sleep at night. Then I would have panic attacks. My nervous system's going crazy. Couldn't really eat food. Couldn't really digest. I lost like 25 pounds, and I'm not that big of a guy. Didn't know if I was coming. Didn't know if I was going to leave Earth. And it was ridiculous. My nervous system was so jacked up, and I'm still healing. And so I'm only bringing this up, guys, when you allow certain people in your life, or you can't put yourself in the energy to forgive people, or you can't put yourself in the energy or motivation to leave situations behind, whether friends, relationships, family. I don't care if they're blood, guys. Like, if somebody is doing you harm and it affects you mentally, like, why would you sit there and take that all in? You can't make people love you. You can't make your family love you, guys. And it doesn't mean get butthurt or like curse them. But sometimes you just gotta put yourself first. Be there for yourself. Cause right now, like I said, it's just me, my sister, my mom, my niece. My dad's around from time to time, but it's just them. Like I said, and I came here to help my mom recover. Like, not just from the accident. I paid what, $3,300 for my mother's divorce. I paid so much stuff to get my mom through her pain, help her with a house, everything, guys. Like, even though I'm her son, this is something he could have did. He barely wanted to sign the paperwork. This man didn't want to sign the paperwork for the divorce. And even when he was going to sign, he didn't want to pay for it. It's wild. And this man had 5 degrees, my stepfather. He has money. He didn't want to do anything. He had more money than me. But it's just, again, seeing all the trauma. Then I even see my auntie. My auntie, she's with an abusive husband. He now, the thing with him, he's a bit worse. He drinks alcohol. He has guns. Now, I will say my stepfather, he did have guns as well, but it got taken away because when he came out of prison, you can't have weapons. And this dude had like assault rifles. Like my stepfather had like a lot of weapons. He was crazy. Just stuff, man. And then what's sad is I carried all that weight, not because nobody taught me anything. Even before I got out of the military, I carried these negative, depressive states my whole childhood, even as an elementary student, being in middle school, just sad, not really happy, not content, didn't trust nobody. I tried to front and act like I could trust people, I couldn't. And even when I tried to trust people, they didn't trust me. I go on dates with women. They think I got 1,000 numbers in my phone, and I don't. Never did. Never was like that. Right? It's crazy. Misjudged, misused, unwanted, not worthy. Felt not worthy of nothing. Even in intimacy, right? Like I'm a Scorpio. We have a a high sex drive, but for me growing up, seeing what my father did, it set me right. Again, not that I should see it. It really checked my own emotions, how I felt with my how can I say how I view sex, I guess you can say. Um, because women out here, they are oppressed, and men want to take control of women sometimes, but also sometimes women almost overexert that energy as well if they're not balanced. So it's like seeing people's interactions and how they view me or my family. It hurt. It hurt bad. And then not just that, my culture. Like some people might want to put me in a frame. Okay, what are you, black? Are you mixed like this? Or even other black people. Are you light skinned? Da 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 da. But I'm mixed. They don't give people credit, but they'll give people credit who want to change their gender, but they won't give people credit whose DNA actually says they're mixed on a birth certificate. That blows my mind. Can't be authentic. Can't be authentic because people want to put you in a box. My mom couldn't be authentic. She tried to. It's like every time she tried to speak up for herself, she got shut down. Her younger sister acts like her older sister's always yelling at my mom. And then when she's going through her stuff with her husband, she's venting to my mother about it. And my mom is trying to tell her, why don't you just leave? Because my mom tries to give her advice. Because my mom's been through 2 divorces. Both of them were 14-year relationships. And as far as like advice on what signs to look for, again, my mom's not the perfect person, but like my aunt, she stays in it because of her religion. Like she doesn't want to be viewed upon negatively. I feel like Christianity, like literally, because like my grandfather was really strict. He was a missionary. He was very strict religious. A lot of women would stay in the relationships because they out of looking bad in front of people, even some of the men. It's just craziness. And then I had some family who went to jail. I had one family who was one uncle that I never met. He got affiliated with a bad group of people or a gang or something. He went to jail at like 16. He passed away at 25. He got jumped. I had again, I told you, my grandmother got murked. It's crazy. My great-great-grandma had a big house. She had a 3-story house. We called it the big house, right? And they had plantations, right? And when she passed it on, because she was alive she was alive when I was still young and I was able to talk to her. They misused the house. They didn't want to be fair to family, and they ended up selling it for some money. And then the city actually wanted to make it to like a historical mark, misused the money. That's also, that caused trauma though, because that's family history though. We already don't have a lot of history already in America, especially people of color. You don't have a lot of history, so when to see the family destroy that, it's like I don't care. It's like I used to want to save land from if I ever have children, I wanted to pass on land, but you don't know what your kids are gonna do. I saw this to my own family. They are not being fair with the usage of land and money, and so why would I want to pass away trying to leave a legacy for you when you might not want what I want to give you as your parent? So I'm a person. Let your kid be free. Like don't even think about it because you don't know, they might not be humble or be as generous like you are as a parent. You don't know what this are, brother or sister. So it's like I'm not telling you guys not to pass on, but all this stuff is just trauma. It's just passed on, whether it be spiritually passed on, religious trauma, people affiliated with wrong people, letting wrong men in the family in the family lineage, or even some women seeing that and then carrying that burden, walking around trying to have a loving relationship, and then just to have people misjudge you, whether what you look like, your gender, you got tattoos, your job, all that, your body size, and then almost making you almost body shame yourself. Because these people time like again, I was skinny. I'm self-conscious. It's not even always that somebody was always telling me that I'm always thinking like this. Always I go to the stores, I can't find my pant size, can't find nothing. These oversized pants, nothing's my size. I think the only time I ever went to that had something my size when I was in Japan. Okay, and I'm an average height guy. I'm just slim. You understand what I'm saying? And at that time, especially at that time, at least I'm a little cut now. It took me a lot to get into the gym, motivate myself. I would ask my dad, "Can you help me?" When he helped me, a lot of manly things I had to do, even learning how to shave. I had to teach my own self how to shave. My dad never told me how to shave, and sadly, I didn't learn how to shave till I went to the military at 23 years old, guys. That's crazy. I didn't learn how to shave till I was 23, and it's not because the military taught me. It was a fellow military guy that I knew, right? That was in the service with me, and he showed me how to shave. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. He showed me how to shave. He's older than me. That was it. If it wasn't for him, nobody probably would have taught me how to shave. I would have had to do it myself. So it's just like, I'm just saying, it's just trauma after trauma, and I had to learn how to forgive people, forgive the women I dated, forgive myself, be accountable for myself, don't blame everybody. Because seeing my own self in the hospital for a whole year straight, and even a couple times before that, off of things that doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with me, okay, or my mother. It's like me and her were so close. Again, because my sister, yes, it was negative how she got pregnant, okay, it was a burden on her, but she wasn't going to the hospital or going through much, I guess, emotional trauma. It seemed to be anyway, from my perspective, compared to my mom, my sister. It was like we were always going through stuff, right? It's just crazy, just crazy stuff. And I'm only bringing this up, guys, like, if anybody's going on the trauma, other than my own experiences, like, try to, of course they always say seek help, but a lot of times, like, even me, I've been to counseling and all that, and it kind of helped, but a lot of it was just me reflecting and sitting with myself and just praying to God and my angels, just talking and just going through the emotions, like letting the anger come through me and let it out, letting the sadness come out, and then let all the visions that I'm having of people come out. Excuse the phone call. If I'm getting visions about women I dated or people in the military done me wrong, just let it come through. Because a lot of times my spirits will show people that did me wrong. They'll make me remember stuff that I try to forget and like act like it didn't happen. But my spirits are like, no, you need to acknowledge this. You need to acknowledge what that happened to you. It's not to acknowledge it to get angry again per se. It's to acknowledge it, let the feelings arise in you again. But remember that so you don't walk into these situations again. And also see what kind of energy you were in when these things happen. Maybe you're in need of a friend where you might have been in the energy of abandonment. So this is how they're showing me. And then because you're in the energy of abandonment, meaning you don't want to be abandoned, you are almost purposely or indirectly, I would say, allowing yourself to be in situations where people that you knew weren't the best, but it's kind of like you had a blind eye to it, and then you end up being around users. This is what I'm trying to say for myself. Like, I might have wanted to be around other brotherly like guys, because I just felt like it was a brotherhood, but not realizing they had negative energies. Or even when I saw negative energies, I was hoping that they would change, and they never did. And then what happened was it brought me down. And then when they happen is sometimes, because how men do, we compete, but they also can belittle each other. Men, we are known to belittle each other, and sometimes women are known to belittle each other, right? And this is just things I've seen, man. But all that just added trauma. And what the thing about when you're at work or you're in a friend group with males or females, they don't really know what goes on your family dynamic. They don't know everything I lived through. Right? They don't know all the life, death situations. I got electrocuted 2 times, fell down the stairs, almost busted my head. My car went through 2 lanes. When I had my car almost hit at 18. Well, just all these things, right? They don't know my ship sinking. I'm on the Straits of Hormuz outside Iran, and so I had things happen to me as a child, all the way to the military and after. And then the worst one was the college situation with the assault thing. Somebody, that happened to me. So long story short, it's just nobody knows that, and then they just look at you on TV because you might look like somebody who's kind of cute or whatever, or kind of cool to look at or whatever, and then they just judge y'all face value, and they don't pay attention to your brain or your intelligence, and then they want to put you in the category of other men or women who are out here in the streets, being players, right? And that's messed up. It's messed up. Not thinking that you could have been through anything negative. It's crazy. And then to be these same people that don't think that you've been doing any negative off of face value, but then they be trying to complain about their situation instead of looking within, why is this happening to them? It doesn't make any logical sense. And and it got to a point I don't care, because I'm not here to help everybody. I'm not here to please everybody. It's all about me being authentically me and being vulnerable when I feel called to be vulnerable, to share certain things with people, whether it be on this YouTube channel or just in my day-to-day life when I'm walking down the street or wherever I'm doing, or even with my cousins or anything like that. Because right now, most of my life has just been me, my sister, my mom. I have really no contact really that much with any of my grandparents, Don't even really know them no more. I've been gone since I was 9. I visit them, but even when I visit them as an adult, it's hard to connect with people that I have not seen since a child. And I feel like even if I try, when I allow myself to try to be open, it feels disingenuous because I'm at an age where it's kind of like I just see them as friends. Even if I pray to God, I can do a ritual on myself. I can go to church all day and get baptized. It's not changing how my heart feels. And then also, it's not just because I'm not willing to do this. Sometimes I'm also feeling their energy being not authentic. Not authentically being open enough to try to get to know me as an adult, especially because a lot of them have not seen me since a kid. This makes sense. So when I feel this, it makes me feel rejected, and I'm not gonna go somewhere I'm not wanted. Right? It's not because I want to be appreciated, but if I'm blood, it's like if I feel something off, I'm not gonna force myself, and I might be happier just with my mother, my sister, or me just trying to be with people in my city that may be like-minded, right? Because like and one thing I've learned through my spiritual growth, again, a lot of your family and friends, this might be hard to say, you did not, like, especially a person like me who believes in past life, everybody in your family, you were not in family at all, like, wait until this life. Like, you might have been just family mainly with your brother, your sister, your mom, and your dad. But when it comes to like your great grandparents or your uncles, they might have been like a family member in one of your lives, like one of your lives, but not all your lives. But your immediate mother might have been in your life all the time through many lives, right? You might have one uncle that might have been in your life a lot of the time, but not every aspect or every person in your family. You know, that's how I look at it, because you can feel it. Y'all can't tell me when y'all go to certain cousins or certain people, y'all don't feel closer. And some of you guys might feel close to everybody, but there's certain people you can tell, you just, not that they're bad, it's just you don't feel the same love. Like, that's already showing you, but you might feel more love for your friend. And I told people this through my thoughts, is like, you have a friend that feels like a brother and sister to you, that's most likely because they was a brother and sister to you in the past life, but they chose to be a friend with you in this life. You don't know, you gotta look at that. But again, I'm only bringing this up because it helped me during my trauma to really understand why are people doing me wrong. Why don't I feel connect with everybody? It's all for a reason. It's all for a lesson, of course. But the one thing I'm trying to get in this video is like, try to deal with your trauma and your emotions the best way you can. Let it out. If you need to talk to somebody, do it. If it feels like you gotta go to a doctor, whatever, do it. But a lot of times, at the end of the day, when it all said and done, you have to be accountable as well and deal with your own emotions and well-being, other than somebody talking to you. Because one thing I learned about the spirit world, they give people to us sometimes to help us, whether it be medical, but a lot of times you still got to do the work. Like, you can say, I'm gonna go see a psychiatrist, but you got to get your behind in the car to go drive down to see the psychiatrist. So you technically gonna meet them halfway anyway. It just means you still got to do some type of input and action, right? But then even when they give you guidance as a psychiatrist, you still got to come home and try to deal with your own thoughts. So technically, it's still you, right, trying to figure this all out. And my only concern with everybody in this world, as much as we have all these conflicts with genders and culture and race, and women have been oppressed and men have been oppressed, we can say that for cultures. Black people have been oppressed, brown people have been oppressed, Caucasian people have been oppressed, Europeans been oppressed, everybody been oppressed. The only thing that make it different now is, like, from my perspective, like, African American culture, at least in America, they're the last one that came out of slavery. It's a known fact that every culture has had slavery. Europeans, the Arabs been in slavery. They their own people. Because of the last one, the wound is still fresh. So whenever somebody's been oppressed, I'm just using an example. Whenever somebody was oppressed, you're gonna have these residual emotions of negativity still within you. Okay, it doesn't mean it's right that anybody was put in slavery. And if you want to know why I'm bringing up slavery, right? I'm bringing that up because I can say the same thing for the witch trials. If you feel like you are connected to the witches and stuff like that, it's still a wound in you, because that might have been your last incarnation. It's not just because you're a woman and you feel like men are all crazy. Okay, that could be possibly, but it's also just emotions that's from a past life. A lot of your emotions coming from past life, bringing up trauma within your body. And so you to bring some type of resolution to it right now. And my only thing is to bring awareness for you guys to try to deal with it now before it comes an illness or a disease, because everything is energy, right? It's all spiritual energy. Then it goes to the mental, and then it plays out through your body. And that's how sometimes, sadly to say, sometimes the doctors can't figure out what's going on with you, because it's energy, guys. It's energy, okay? And I really wasn't trying to make this video because I hope I didn't come off like I'm all over the place, but I didn't really want to stick it too much on my family, and I had to really check myself to make sure I'm not going too much into situations that can offend somebody out there who might have been through trauma or abuse, because I don't want to trigger anybody. And but I also had to let people know to a certain extent, like if y'all want to know, other than my regular tarot readings, why I talk about spirits and ghosts, or even the divine feminine, it's not because I don't love myself or I don't love my gender. I'm a straight male. It's none of that. It's more about um, growing up, seeing a lot of the women and some of the men, but mainly the women going through stuff. But even though I'm a man, like I'm telling you, right, I don't want to gross you guys out, right? I mean, this has nothing against your sexual preferences, but in my personal perspective as a straight male, I don't feel like a man, as me, this straight, should be pushed upon by another man, okay? Just telling you, biologically, it doesn't seem right. And I was 19 years old, guys. I was a freshman in college because my birthday is late, and there's a 25-year-old man. Didn't see it coming at all. I'm in my room, right, playing PlayStation. I just finished my homework, and I'm drinking High C because I like juice back in the day. And so I told my roommate, "Hey man, can you pass me that cup over there? We're eating pizza." And he passed me the juice. And all of a sudden, when I drank my High C, because I opened the cup, I started feeling sleepy, right? And then I realized he had tried to drug me, and I was numb. And then boom, y'all know what happened. Boom, you know what I'm saying? Now, what's crazy is when he was my roommate, he never did anything. That was like my last month of school that year as a freshman. You see, I'm getting with this, how people are wild, but long story short, karma ended up getting him because he went to jail for something else. But I'm just sharing to where I'm open to say that because it didn't change my sexual preferences. But at the end of the day, at 19, who would have thought that I'm supposed to come to a college to better myself, right? But then that happens, right? So at the end of the day, and then I still finished that school up that following year, had a different roommate, and then after that I went to another college, and then long story short, I went to the military, became something successful, retired, and all that. And so that just tells you, though, I was able to work through that. I didn't impress those memories and kept pushing, right? And I'm just letting you know, and from my personal opinion, and again, I can't speak for everybody out there with the male or female. If you've been through something, you can get through it if you push yourself. Because I have a lot of friends, God bless their soul, they took their own life, and not because of abuse. I've had guys who couldn't take their job in the military. The military was too stressful. And I had guys that would go be alcoholics, be drinkers, or actually take a gun and take their life. Like I had one friend, he took his life, left his wife and 2 kids behind in Japan. And every day was wild about that. He was very motivating, very inspiring. And he took his life. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It was sad. And then I had another friend, he hung himself inside the ship, right? And these are different cultures. The first guy was an African American guy, the second guy was a Caucasian guy. You see what I'm saying? And then the guy that abused me was a black guy. So if this tell you it don't matter about culture, if a culture is going to do something wrong to you, even if the same culture, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. If somebody's the same gender as you and they want to do something wrong to you, they're going to do it. Right? And so I'm an advocate for like having utopia and peace, but I'm also a person, I don't feel like we need to be dumb and stupid and just ignore the signs of people are acting certain type of ways. You don't know if people are trying to like break you, or because they're jealous of you, envious of you. People can have more money. Look, I've seen people who have more money be jealous of somebody who has less money, right? Crazy stuff, right? People have a misconception about the military. Some people think all military guys are crazy. Some of them are, but you can't just put everybody in a box, guys. And so again, because what happens is you make more emotional trauma. So the same people speaking about trauma, you're throwing your trauma or what you think is right or righteous to say about other people that you do not know, causing more trauma. So as much as you're trying to heal, you're adding on to the energies of hate towards men and women and other races and cultures. So you can do all the meditating you want to in the world. You're still bringing trauma, and when you pass on, the energy, the stuff that you spoke out your mouth still will sit here on earth. Because I tell people this, whenever you speak something in your mouth, it's like a spell, but not just because of spell. It sits in the room, guys. It sits there. Wherever you were, it sits there. If your energy is depressed, this chair is going to be feeling depressed. So somebody sits in it, they're going to feel that depression, right? And I can speak off of my personal experiences. Like I told you, I went to Iowa State University. I was working up there, right? I got a job with the USDA. With these scientists up there, and there's a woman prior to me who had a lot of stress, and she had diabetes, and they didn't tell me that she was really heavy set. And I asked them what happened to the person that worked there, and they were denying it. And so I asked a fellow coworker who worked there, and they told me, yes, there was a woman who was dealing with stress, who was really heavy set, had diabetes, and she was had like a lot of panic attacks. She's going through it. And that's why I was feeling all that tension, because she's been gone. When I came to the office, she was gone for almost a year, but her energy was still that heavy in the room, guys. Now, mind you, she's alive still to this day, but I never met her. So that tells you that energy does not leave, it stays there. So if that's energy in the room, what you think is doing to your body, when you letting like negativity or your thoughts think about how much a man or a woman cheated on you, or you think about how many times somebody abused you. Okay, it's not that it's right that it happened, but if you keep keeping that in your head and over and over and over and over the years, and it don't let you not eat right, and you're eating unhealthy, right? You're gonna wear your health down, right? And then you're gonna be codependent on medicines. And then not what's even worse, they got all these chemicals in the food. Then you got all this smoke and smog in the air that we breathe. There's like no way out. And again, the thing about it, what I'm saying is this. Of course, we can't change everything that we eat sometimes. Like, we can try to make our diet as proper as we want, but we don't know every chemicals and everything, right? We can't change the sky and make it clean again. But one thing you can do, if you can, is protect yourself, right? Set positive boundaries with people who are affecting your emotional energy, but also check your energy. Like, really look at yourself. Like, are you really thinking about things that have hurt you in your past or made you angry or all that? Like, release that, man. Release it, forgive, let go, right? That way you can ascend. Right? It's not just about saying, oh, I got my divine feminine goddess energy, or I got my man God energy. Okay, yeah, that's true. But like it serves no purpose to be saying all that if you haven't checked your emotions at the door. You keep living in the past, because something I learned with all cultures, a lot of cultures and just genders, they live in the past too much. And I'm not talking about just past with like abuse, just past. All right, people want to wish it was like the past. Okay, in a way, we're more spiritually in the past, more spiritual. But does anybody want to get guillotined today? Not me. Does anybody want to be in chains today? Not me. So, like, yeah, things are not perfect. Yeah, we got guns and rifles and nuclear weapons. But when I really think about it, it was extremely gruesome back then, though, as well. Right? The only thing that's changed is how we get rid of people. Right? And this is somebody who's been in the military, been in a war, been in conflict. Also was raised by my real dad before I had my stepfather, who was in the military, was 21 years, artillery. Right, 82nd Airborne, jumped out of airplanes with the Desert Storm, all that, Bosnia and all that. Okay, and I was in the military since Bush. I just retired out again. Like I said, I'm almost 40. Okay, and I didn't just come into this nonsense. I've always been a deep thinker, guys. So don't think, oh, he's probably speaking this because it's training. No, I don't care about people. Nobody care about me. What I'm trying to say is I've been thinking like this, especially from the. I would definitely always say 23 is when I definitely got kicked in with my enlightenment. Okay, and I'm 39 now, right, and I'll be 40 tomorrow. But I've always been a deep thinker. Since I was 16, I always questioned. I used to ask my dad, how do you know who God is? Right? It's not that I didn't know who God was. I just want to know, you as an adult, as my father, how do you know who he is? I said this when I was 11 years old. I was in Italy, and we were going to church, and I asked him this. I always ask deep questions. I can't control it. It's part of my character. And so, like, a lot of times, I've even dated women where they don't understand what I'm talking about. Because, like, I like having fun, like joking, but I like to have deep conversations with substance. I don't like to date people who don't have any substance. And yes, I'm a loving man. I like intimacy like anybody, but I'm a person. I like substance. And again, I've been focused on my spirituality. I've been celibate since 2018 by choice. And so, all to get myself healed, because I told you, when I came home, I experienced all this trauma, panic attacks, my cardio, all kind of nerve stuff, and I'm a person who has great health. Why is this happening to me? Right? I couldn't eat, couldn't do certain things. I told you I lost 30 pounds, guys. Excuse this phone. And I don't weigh that much. I'm barely 5'9". Okay, I don't weigh that much. So again, I'm telling y'all, like, no, guys, like, no. And even though when I got off this phone and when I finished talking to you guys, I already know, like, what's expected. Like, I always think positive, but I always try to keep my emotions in check. But I can't stop if I go to the grocery store and somebody mug me for no reason. I can't stop it if I decide to date again and I go out here today. I can't get mad if a girl turn me down because she think that, oh, I might have 1,000 numbers, but they don't know anything about me. But because they've been through trauma, they want to judge me. I can't speak on that. I can't get mad about that. I can't get mad if other coaches might not want to talk to me, or even my own coach don't want to talk to me. I can't get mad at that. It is what it is. I've learned to just accept things for how they are and just be concerned about the things I can control. It's not easy. And then Also, when I again, if it's not humans, it's my spiritual side. When I go to sleep at night, I don't know what's gonna happen. When I go to sleep at night, sometimes I might have a nightmare. Sometimes I have a good dream. Sometimes I don't. I even had people send me spiritual attacks. People think I'm dumb. Like before I even had this channel, right? I had another channel, and people were trying to send me stuff for no reason because they have nothing to do, and they think I'm dumb. And then I have to send stuff back to them. It is what it is. I don't. It's like they. It's like this is life. People are crazy. People are crazy. And the thing about it, when people send people things to you, that's affecting your emotions because it almost feels like, people don't see that I'm authentic enough or real enough to let myself be seen? Are they trying to send spirits to me to make me feel oppressed to not speak? But don't they know they'll get karma for this? They don't care. Right? I'm pretty sure some of you guys might have felt like you got spiritual attack. Okay? And it's not that I feel I've seen it. I see spirits, so that it's not, it's confirmed. People are crazy, man. And so again, I feel now again, I ain't trying to make you guys depressed, but again, I speak for masculine and feminine energies. But if it seems like I'm always coming from a feminine aspect, even though I'm a masculine straight male, it's the fact that I've been through a lot of stuff, more than I'm not even going to tell you guys. But y'all don't want to take it at face value. I'm not here to convince you guys, but it's something I was told to do. It's not just because I feel it in my heart. It's like I'm telling you right now. It literally started. What was it? 2020. When I came back home, I kept having visions of like these feminine spirits, when you want to call them angels or whatever. They would come to me and they kept telling me, respect your divine feminine, respect your divine feminine. And they would do this every day. They wouldn't stop bothering me. It got so bad where I thought I was possessed or something. Now I was starting to go to church more and baptize myself, and they wouldn't go away. And this is before tarot. They wouldn't go away. They wouldn't go away. And then I realized, oh wow, these are guides, man. These are guides. And it's like, you need to speak up for the feminine. You need to speak up. But then I would say, I'm a man. Anybody gonna listen to no man? Women, a lot of women hate men. They think men are evil. They think they're players. They think men have, and of course, and I said women have been known to be oppressed by men. Why would they listen to me? Why would they listen to me? They're not gonna listen to me. And they kept telling me, you can't think like that. You can't think like that. Oh, I'm telling you the truth. And then they'll argue me every day. I'm telling you, every day that bothers me. It'd be fierce energy too. They weren't talking to polite. Like the first film was like, respect your divine feminine, and then she'll grab me. One of them grabbed me by the throat, and then when she grabbed me by my throat, she's like, this is what's going on. She said, you feel like you're gonna be oppressed, but you're not. You're meant to speak from here. And she picked me up. I was like, it was crazy. And then when that didn't happen, when I ignored that, I told you all, it felt like I was in a place that looked like Hades or underwear. I was a woman at a throne, and she was sitting there, and then she looked down at me like this, and her eyes was glowing yellow, and she was like, had me there. And then I saw my future self, where I'm gonna end up when I pass. It was crazy. And then the whole point of them showing me all these women is that, hey, don't let your gender, all right, identify you as far as like what you should be doing in this life. So you can be an advocate. Again, you might not know all of what a woman's menstrual pain is when she goes through menstrual pain, but you can't tell. They don't know if you've been abused, man. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. Because like I said, when I was in the military, I saw women doing other women wrong. I saw women taking other women's men, right? This was when I was in the military. It was really bad. I seen women try to hurt each other. I saw one girl pick up a girl when I was in the military, and then like, you see how wrestling, how they turn their head upside down and dunk a girl on the ground. I saw a girl flip her, boom. But I didn't see the whole escalation, but by the time I ran down the hallway, she already had a girl and boom, dropped her. This is girl and another girl. Over nothing, not over a man, just off a petty stuff. One girl kept telling her stop talking to me, and they just dropped her. It's crazy. I saw one girl get slammed into an oven. So again, just like how men can fight, I've seen some women throw hands. And again, so like, I just feel like even if you look at it from your perspective out there, my viewer, that the whole world looks like it's masculine dominated, which it probably is most likely. That don't mean that every woman is on your same mindset though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some women who are extremely masculine, and they're very tough, very strong in demeanor. But also, I also look at like, even if when women stand together, are they really stand together as cultures? Because certain women don't like other cultures. Like I know in Texas, where I'm at, Texas is nice, but some women don't like black women, and some black women don't like white women. So like, are we really standing together as a humanity to be strong together? And even when I hear men oppressing each other, like are black men connecting with white men? Not all the time. Sometimes, not all the time. So it's always gonna be differences in the world duality. So now that's why I be saying to myself, like, what are we arguing for? Like, it's not enough empathy in the world. And because it's not enough empathy in the world, right? It affects our emotions, and it makes trauma. Makes trauma, not just for us, even the animals feel our trauma. Okay? Everything affects everything. So again, sorry I went on this little tangent and end. It's just I have so much on my mind. I think it's probably because of the full moon coming tomorrow, and normally you feel the energy of the full moon like 3 days before and 3 days after. And I think also because my birthday is tomorrow. Whew, it's just a lot, man. And again, I'm trying to give different scenarios to touch on every topic, and not just to be talking about abuse or cultures or race or women and men. I'm trying to tell everybody's been through trauma. At some point, everybody's been locked in chains of slavery, even if it wasn't in our lifetime. Somebody out there has gotten shot at. Somebody right now is walking on a dirt street with plastic shoes on, like I saw in Cambodia. There's some child out there trying to hustle for some money while we're complaining to each other how men and women are horrible people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Are we talking about how our dating life is non-existent? But there's somebody outside walking with plastic shoes on. Just grateful that they're alive today. See what I'm saying with this? There's not enough empathy. And it doesn't mean we need to think about that kind of stuff every day. But I still feel like we should be grateful we got fingers, arms, hands. There's somebody out there who can't walk. And that person who can't walk might make a video like mine, and it was sad, they still probably won't give that person credit that they've been through stuff. Because there's somebody who don't want to like anything. There's somebody who doesn't want to support anything because they don't have the confidence to make a video of themselves. There's somebody always going to be that person who's just got to be, who doesn't want to care. Doesn't want to show any type of acknowledgement that something's happening, this person could actually be saying the truth. You know, some people are afraid of the truth, and some people, when they feel like something's falsified, they don't want to hear it. Right? It's just crazy. Like, sometimes, like, I've had times with my trauma, and it's like a lifelong journey that, not just with families, just sometimes I just wish that, like on some, like especially when I was Christian, sometimes I was like, man, they just might as well just take this earth off, just get rid of it, because like people are like, they just can be ridiculous. Like, get rid of social media, man. Like, get rid of it, a lot of stuff. Like, so it's just a lot that would go through my mind, because when I was traveling these different countries, like, for example, when I went to Asia, right, it's not perfect out there, but there are certain things they would do that I would never see in America, as far as like what made them happy compared to what makes us happy in America or even Europe. It blew my mind. But also, I saw some flaws that they had. You know, I saw certain things they do that was kind of perfectionist kind of things. You know, but everybody got their things. You know, I even went to countries that I thought I would blend in. I didn't. Like, I remember I went to Africa. I didn't get accepted. Like, certain black people like me, but some people didn't. Same thing in Europe. So everybody different, man. Like, and again, and it'd be the same ones. They'd be like, well, men are horrible, but nobody's accepting my culture, and nobody's accepting my diversity. That I told you guys I'm mixed, but you don't want to see that. You just want to keep talking crap about me. It's crazy. If I was if you had a son like me, would you want somebody to talk about your son or your brother? And you can say, well, all men aren't this, and this is why I have my trauma. All men are this. Would you want somebody to call your brother that? Say if you had a real kind brother, would you want somebody to call your brother that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, we can't keep being a victim, man. Like, again, it doesn't excuse the evil stuff that goes on around the world, even with the government, guys. But I'm just saying, we gotta tap in more and really be more, like, open and think deep. And I'm not saying you guys never thought about this, but it's like, it's just so annoying, bro. It's so annoying. Like, sometimes I feel like a lot of arguments and debates are just pointless. Pointless. Even about history. A lot of you guys weren't even back in the times of history, and neither was I. We really don't know what was the truth. We just assume it. Unless you're an archaeologist and you actually dig up something out the dirt and you see it physically and it's tangible, yeah. But if you're not out there digging and you're just reading a book, you're going off face value, right? Unless they have pictures of artifacts. But the book has no artifacts. You're just going off assumptions. Now, it's different with mathematical problems. That's different, right? Or something with science and biology. That's different. But if you're talking about like actual history, because men manipulate history and they conquer countries and they conflate things or erase things, yeah. But that guess what that does though? That affects the culture's emotions, because now that culture has no history or identity anymore. You just affected a whole generation, and now they're gonna all get trauma. All cultures. This makes sense, guys? And so again, these are all different ways. Even though it don't seem like I said it, if you really think about everything I stated, whether it be my family, friends, dating life, abuse, all that, even history, humans are almost like their own devil. And what's sad is, other than humans doing these things, you have spirits, right? They're more malevolent that see us doing these things. And when we get into these low vibrational states, they make us more likely to do the same thing again. As far as like allowing people to stay in our lives too long, become people pleasing, being depressed too long, being anxiety prone, right? Because then what happens? You have a spiritual attachment, whether you want to call it a demon or a fallen angel, whatever you want to call it. That's what happens. So really check your energy, guys. So I don't want to make this video too long. Or repetitive, I should say. And forgive me again. Forgive me if I hope I didn't offend anybody. And if you are watching this with any children that have sensitive ears, forgive me. I'm a person, I try not to like cuss or anything on here. I try to make sure I'm proper with my words. Yes, again, this is still a trail channel. It's just that I don't know. I just felt compelled to speak about trauma. Maybe somebody's going through some type of trauma or negativity. I don't know. I just felt compelled to put this video out. This was a very sensitive topic for me. And again, even though I stated that I was going to talk about my mother a little bit, which I did, as I started looking at it, as I was talking, I was reflecting on her and even on myself. I was like, no, I got to refrain because like I don't want to put too much. This is too much. I don't want to trigger somebody. So yeah. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys' support and love, and just again, I just wish y'all the best, man, and continue to be you guys. Continue to be the best you, man. Continue to be authentic. Continue to stay in vibration of love as much as possible, no matter what obstacles you may face. Even if you're a 75-year-old person watching, because I know it's gonna have a lot of older viewers around the world, and I'm grateful. And thank y'all for being who you are. And also much respect if I have any friends out there watching this, because I have a diverse group of friends. No matter what culture, I have some friends from Italy, I have friends in Russia, I have friends in Mexico, I got friends everywhere. That I actually personally met though, so I'm not just speaking that off YouTube. Like I'm talking like if y'all saw my Facebook, I have friends everywhere. So again, much love to everybody, and I hope you guys, whenever y'all watching this, have a great day or whenever week. And I just want to thank y'all for y'all support and thank y'all for listening. And much love to y'all. Blessed be everybody.